Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as Lego Dude 11, and in today's video, this is my Oppenheimer spoiler review, so without further ado, let's discuss. Alright, so first and foremost, a little bit of housekeeping here before I start this thing off. I do have my list of notes here for this spoiler review. And as I just said, it's a spoiler review, so there will be spoilers in this video. So if you haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, it's been out for a week now, and Barbenheimer is out, is currently going around. So I have not seen Barbie yet. I'm seeing that soon, probably next week here. So you'll see that a week later. I was wanting to do a double feature of that, of this and Barbie, but this was 3 hours. Barbie was another hour and 30 minutes. I'm like, nah, it's been way too long. So I don't know if it would have been combined or I could have seen it back to back. But anyway, I have not seen Barbie yet. I'm seeing that next week. So you can click a card up there to watch my Oppenheimer vlog with my friend Michael. Did see it with him. We talked about Oppenheimer a little bit, and we talked about some other movie news and gobbledygook with the strike and whatever going on. So you can check that out if you like up there. So getting on to the spoiler stuff, we got the beautiful score by Ludwig Göransson, and I didn't even mention this at all with him after the movie, but I was fascinated by this score. I was fascinated by the whole film, and at the end of this review I have my note, this is the best Nolan film. We'll get to that later. But the score by Ludwig Göransson fascinated me because I've heard various Ludwig Göransson works. If you're talking about Black Panther, both Black Panther films, Mandalorian, Turning Red, which I really liked his score in Turning Red, and he's had a couple other shows or projects, I think. But this, I think, did he do Tenet? He did do Tenet. Because I had to do a double take if he did Tenet, which he did, because I remember it being on his array of films. And I was going to say, because this is normally Nolan films are Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer did Interstellar, which I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of I believe Hans Zimmer also did Inception, which I like those films. Hans Zimmer did the Dark Knight movies, and Batman Begins, and the other Dark Knight, the Dark Knight, and the Dark Knight Rises. But Ludwig Göransson is stunning, and which I was frustrated when he didn't come back to do Mandalorian Season 3, which a new guy did, but the recurring theme was back. And Ludwig Göransson with this film blows it out of the water, or does a nice explosion with this film, if you like the pun there. But I just thought the score from each of the tense moments, which I'll get to later, every time there's certain moments like walking or like the stomping, certain moments and elements really blended well together. So another win for Ludwig Göransson like this, and it works nicely in this film. I'd like to see Ludwig Göransson do more. Like, I don't know why he couldn't do Mandalorian Season 3. Was he too busy with this film? I'm not sure. But anyway, like what he did here. Let's move on to the acting and the stars in this, because there are a plethora of wide category or wide array of people in this film. In particular, starting with Cillian Murphy as Oppenheimer, who played Scarecrow in Batman Begins, I think? Batman Begins. I had to forget what film it was. Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr., and Florence Pugh are the main 5 stars. And Robert Downey Jr. is more than just Iron Man in this film. He is, or Tony Stark, he is a great actor. Now, I haven't seen him in many other films besides Marvel films, but the one after that came out was Dolittle, and that wasn't that great. I never even watched Dolittle, and people were like, yeah, it's not a great film. So I didn't even see it. I might watch it, like, if I have kids or something, they want to throw it on or something, like, okay, let's watch Dolittle, and whatever. I've never seen it. But it's not that great of a film, I've heard. But this, with Robert Downey Jr., he does a great job. And then there's other actors in there. I just watched the film. I made a video on this called, but with there guys named Margaret. The dad in that film is in this, which that actor was also in Obi-Wan and Licorice Pizza. He was great in this. He had like an accent, and I loved the way he talked, or he acts in this film. He's great. We have Josh Peck from Drake and Josh in this. I'm like, wait, where's Drake? I want to see him. No, but Josh Peck's in this. Dane DeHaan is in this. The guy that plays Kurt from the Ant-Man films, who plays Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad's in this. Trying to think. We got Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He's in this film, of all people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, to see him in a wide release film. I mean, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I guess, was wide release, but that was years ago, and I haven't seen him in a film since. Roderick, other actors off the top of my head are coming up. Like I said, Emily Blunt was great. Both his wives were great. Wasn't there someone else? Matt Damon, I said. There was Papa 11's dad from Stranger Things was in this. All these people were great to see. Their roles were exceptional. Oh, and 2 other roles. There was the guy from The Boys who plays Soldier Boy. Was it Soldier Boy? It wasn't Homelander. It was the guy with the curly hair, like young dude with the curly hair from The Boys was in this. My friend was like, yeah, it's the guy from The Boys. I'm like, yes, it is, and I can't remember his name. And also young Han Solo, Adrian Aldrich, I think was his name, is in this film as well, young Han Solo. I knew that because I just watched Solo a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh yeah, look, it's young Han Solo. All these roles are exceptional. And there's these other roles on the board member, on the council member, and on the council board, and all this stuff, and all of it works. All their acting works for me. I just love all these stars, and all these other people work so nicely. Also, before I get to the story of how this thing works, how does this thing work? How does Oppenheimer work? I'll let you know. There are just tense moments in this film with the explosion in particular. I think it's obviously it's like the tensest scene, the most tense scene, because you go in, you know what the film is about, right? Besides the actual execution and how it works out, but the moment itself with the explosion, the bomb, how they get it up there, how they finally build it, how it's up there, because there's moments where they test things, like test mini explosions, and then they actually put the bomb up. I almost said launch. They rise the bomb up and get ready for the sequence, right? And the entire moment of that is tense. And as I mentioned earlier, there's like foot stomping and whatnot. There's like, it's so tense with the music cues and the actual execution, like the countdown. I wanted to know if the countdown was accurate, because when I watched one of my favorite moments in film, I still don't know why it's so good, is when I watched Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That moment with the nuclear bomb, which is, again, that movie is kind of atrocious, but that scene with the nuclear bomb countdown is one of my favorite moments because it's actually accurate to the countdown of when they drop the explosion. But in this film, I was wondering, is the time actually accurate? Which I didn't count it in the theater, but I want to go back when I watch it on archive, on like footage at home, is I want to actually see if it's accurate or not. Because if it is, that makes the film even better. But if it's not, it's nothing dang crucial. But I hope it's not. I hope it's really accurate. But yeah, it's such a tense moment, and there's other moments in the film where he's like picturing in his mind like the stars and like brain waves and other sciencey, I almost said artifacts, sciencey moments, that it's so tense and so interesting, engaging to watch, that I just love it. So from there, moving from there, the story, it's quite, I don't think it's as confusing as Tenet, and Inception and Interstellar are so good that I think after what, because I watched Interstellar with some friends of mine for the first time last month, and I like it. I love it. Like, I have to think, like, I don't know if Interstellar is on my top 10 films of all time or not, but what Oppenheimer does for me, what Interstellar, like, it brings in reality and history into one, whereas Interstellar uses science. What Inception does is it makes this unique concept in sci-fi, kind of, and Interstellar does another sci-fi type film, but uses more sciencey based stuff in Interstellar. This, Oppenheimer, uses science and history combined, because it's a real life thing. It's a real thing. But I think that at the end of the story, as me and my friend were discussing, there's some like loose end tie-in to the actual motive or discussion between Oppenheimer and Einstein that's a little bit confusing. But how I interpret it is that with Robert Downey Jr., what he says is, or not what he says, what he's trying to words get across is when he's talking to young Solo character Adrian, is that there's another words there's another like calculation or idea, like theory, like scientific theory that's going on. And because Oppenheimer just proved the atomic bomb, like the explosion happened, and there's something else beyond that can happen. So I think that there was something that he told Einstein, Oppenheimer told Einstein in that moment that wasn't explored, that wasn't said to the audience, that we then got told, but it wasn't told in the entirety of the, like there was more explanation. But as us, the audience, we just kind of view it as, oh, there's something more, but what is that type of thing? So, yeah, there's that. I didn't go into a deep sleep, but at the one moment I was like, I felt like it went on a little bit too long. Like, I like the way the film was paced with them getting the crew together, him kind of coming up with the science, them building the bomb, then the explosion. Like I said, it was all so tense. And the black and white moments really worked for me. I was so glad that this movie wasn't all in black and white. By the way, oh, never mind. I was so glad this wasn't all in black and white because I felt like the film wouldn't have worked for me on that level. I liked how there was the color, like the movie was working in order, going in order, in like timeline order, and then there were like the flashback scenes were in black and white. That really worked for me. I liked that a lot. And then it went, the explosion obviously was in color. I'm wondering how much of that was real, like not done in CGI. I'm sure Christopher Nolan has talked about, hey, I want to get a bomb with it, or like, no, I didn't get a real nuke because that would have been way too much money, or not way too much money. That would have been dangerous. But I'm sure that the explosion wasn't CGI. But I love the way it was done, and then after the bomb exploded, then they went into this whole thing. The whole movie they kept going back and forth by the boardroom meeting scene with Robert Downey Jr. and all the people. But at the end, when he's in the room and he gets his wife in the room and he's getting all the people like to say like if he's guilty or not, sort of, whatever, all the charges, and I'm like, I feel like that went on a little too long. It made narrative sense, but at the end of the day, I felt like it worked. But I don't mean to say it was bored because I felt like it made narrative sense. But I thought at the end of the explosion there was going to be some quick resolvement, like it was going to be resolved, and that was it. Like, yay, we completed our mission, we built the bomb, it exploded, all's good. But I don't know, it was fine. It was fine. I enjoyed the rest of it. Before I move on, I have something to say that I don't know what was happening. I really don't know what was going on as we walked out of this theater. My friend, we get out. There's no end credit scene, by the way. There's no end credit scene in this or Barbie. I already looked it up. But we get out. The credits start rolling. It says Oppenheimer, and then we get out. And my friend goes to the bathroom. I'm like, I'll wait for you here outside. So I'm standing outside where we walk out of the theater door, and this mom comes out and goes, "Yo, so hey, little kid," or like daughter, like it was her young daughter, and she'll go, "Hey, buddy, did you like it?" I'm like, "Why did you bring your kid to this rated R Oppenheimer movie?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, they did just walk out of Oppenheimer, right? I'm like, whatever. I don't know. And I like point at my friend, I'm like, so he just has come and walked out of Oppenheimer? Okay. And because I say that, it was rated R, and there are a couple of sex scenes in this movie, so I'm wondering, I saw Florence Pugh's boobs, so, yeah, I'm kind of concerned, like, well, why did you take your kid to that film? I don't know. I wouldn't have done that. Like, I don't know what to show my kids certain media at what age, But that is not the right film to show your child. This is not the right film to show your child. So, just want to warn you if you're like, hey, should I bring my kids to this film? No. So, anyway, just want to forewarn you that you will see some of this area, just to warn you before going in. Anyway, the resolution of the film, I have a couple other notes. The resolution, I would say, of how I feel, because I didn't explain so much, but how I felt about the overall film. I like, as I said, I will get to my last thing here. Is this the best Nolan film? I'll mention that in a little bit, in just a second. But the resolution, like how I felt about the story, like I said, the acting was phenomenal. It was so tense with all the different moments in the scientific, like, I like science. I like some of math. I'm not a big math guy. I grew up doing math. I'm not, like, into deep science. Like, I like science experiments. But, like, some of this, he didn't, like, go in depth about explanation. But, like, quantum theory, I thought this film, what I like about Interstellar is, like, I'll mention this. What I like about Interstellar is I don't get all the sciencey equations and all that, but I like the way they do Interstellar, like, with the space type stuff. With this, with the big explosion, like, with the building and the what is that called? The model, like, the quantum bomb. When they're in that room and they're building the thing, it's so fascinating to me. And then the big explosion, getting ready for that moment was so intriguing. And him talking to Einstein really fascinated me, just with that talk. And then what Robert Downey Jr. says is like, well, wait, what did you say to him? Like, did you make him mad? And then that whole thing at the end with they're trying to figure out what he said, and there's something else down the line. It just fascinated me. The whole thing did. Them gathering the scientists, I don't know, and him, like I said, the whole thing at the end there I'm not going to say it didn't work for me. I think it worked for me narratively, but I thought maybe something was too long. And the dialogue all did work for me. Nothing was like cheesy or cringe. All of it worked for me. So, I don't know, yeah, I feel like I could say a little bit more, but I don't want to drone on and on. It just was tense. There was great acting, amazing stars. I've never seen a film like this. This is definitely going to be like in my top 5 of the year right now. I think it's at number 4 right now. It's at number 4. Guardians got blunt back by this, shockingly. Guardians 3 was sitting at number 4 on my list, and now it's number 5. But wait, I can't end yet because I gotta say best Nolan film. But yeah, but there was just great stuff. I've never seen a film like this with this many stars, like outstanding stars, like with Roderick and this dad character from Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, to Dane DeHaan, to Kurt from Ant-Man, to Robert Downey Jr., to Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, to Matt Damon. And I mean, Matt Damon's been in other Christopher Nolan films, but just incredible stuff. So is this the best Nolan film? Well, to me, I haven't seen all the Nolan films. I've seen the trilogy, Dark Knight trilogy, Interstellar, Inception. What other one did he do? Tenet, which was not great. That's my least favorite Nolan film, but I might have to watch Tenet again just to see, but this was all over. I've not seen The Prestige, I've not seen Dunkirk, and I've not seen Memento, which I should watch those. I've heard they're good. I've heard, I mean, lots of Christopher, all the Nolan films are really good. Except for Tenet, I think is the worst one people think. But I think the Dunkirk I've heard is like phenomenal. I mean, that's also based on true events, so I might need to watch that soon. But this one I think is one of his best because I've heard. I mean, even though I haven't watched all of them, I think this was really good. And also something I have to mention, like I said, there's issues with Bane when he goes like I talk like this. In the beginning of the film, in the beginning of that, Bane had issues. In Tenet, there were definitely sound issues for me. Not like when I talk to my friends about the sound issues, they're like, "No, I heard it fine." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." I had sound issues for my version. I watched it at home and I had to keep going up and down on the sound. I'm like, I can't understand this movie Tenet because half the time people talk like this, and I can't hear anything. So then I turn it up, and then there's like big, loud commotion for the shooting and the backwards stuff, and I'm like, it's too loud. Don't understand this film with the sound, but this I understood everything. So I was glad to know that. I'm glad about that. But again, I don't know if it's the best. Comment down below if you think it's the best Nolan film because I think it's one of the better ones. I'll say that. I don't think, again, I haven't seen all the Nolan films, so I can't say yes or no. But I'll say it's a great one. It's just a great one. It's definitely at number 4 on my list. Just so you guys might want to know, I got Spider-Verse is number 1, Across the Spider-Verse, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, John Wick 4, then this, and then Guardians 3 are my top 5 of the films of the year so far. And then I got Evil Dead Rise on there as well, and Mario Brothers is on there right now, as we'll see at the end of the year how I feel about that. But yeah, those are the films right now. I got top 10, top 7 right now. So yeah, well, that's how I feel right now. Those are my films, and that's how I feel about that's how Oppenheimer review. So guys, I can't believe we're here, but I love this film. I saw Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is probably going to be on my end of the year, but anyway, great films this year. Another one spectacular, and as I said, we got I'm going to see Barbie next week. Depending when this video is coming out, this is coming out Friday, so I'm seeing theoretically based off of when I'm recording this video, I hope to see Barbie next Monday. So in a week from 2 days from now. So time travel. You do time travel. So anyway, so 2 days. I'm going to see it in about a week and 2 days from now. But as of you're watching this video, I'll see it about 4 days. So anyway, Barbie coming next week here, and loved Oppenheimer. Can't wait to see Barbie. Good reviews from Barbie. I don't know if I'll love it as much as Oppenheimer, but it's a different genre, so it's up in the air. Don't forget to leave a like. Oh, if you want to know my number score, as I said, this is in my top 5 films of the year. Number 4 film of the year. I give this I have to think for a little bit. I gave Elemental a 7 out of 10. I just saw Elemental. I didn't do a film review. I didn't Instagram films. I gave Elemental a 7 out of 10, same as Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny. What do I give this? I gave Mission Impossible a 10 out of 10. Yikes. I feel like I'm doing a disservice. I'm not doing this film justice if I give it a 9, since it's 4 out of 10, or since it's my 4th film of the year. Again, Mission Impossible is 10. I think like John Wick 4 was 10 out of 10. So I don't know. I'll give this. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a 9 because I'll leave one space off for like the length and the confusion at the end there. Not that I didn't fully understand what it was about. I did, but I think I'm going to leave one space off for the miscommunication because I, as the audience, knew what was going on, but I felt like it maybe should have been like, this is what happened, and there's a little bit more. Maybe there's some explanation that I need to watch. But I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Still really good, though. It's not like I should have been 10 out of 10. Oh my god, it's a 9. It's a 9. So it's a 9 out of 10. There's that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like if you did enjoy my review. Have you seen Oppenheimer yet? Are you going to watch it? Are you not into this type of thing? Are you going to see Barbie? Stay tuned for my thoughts on Barbie. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me at Boba Fett and Master. Links down below. Don't forget to keep calm and play Lego and watch movies and TV and all that fun stuff. Don't forget to do that. Peace out, everyone. Bye.